Hey, MCARBO brother, I'm Chris Nelson, President MCARBO. Really excited to introduce the A311 stress-proof carbon steel takedown pin replacement, which is a much heavier duty option for your LCP-1, LCP-2 pistols. Fantastic upgrade. Really excited about these. Can't wait to show you how simple and straightforward the installation is. Let's get on over to tabletop, put these babies in. Parts and tools needed for this build: LCP-1, LCP-2, compatible with both pistols. The A311 stress-proof carbon steel heavy-duty takedown pin by MCARBO, and then a micro-tip flathead screwdriver. Before we get started, let's go ahead and check our pistols together, make sure they're clear, check the chamber, check the bolt face, check the magazine well. LCP-1 is clear. Now the LCP-2, chamber, bolt face, magazine well. Now you can go ahead and leave them slide back to the rear like this. It's a real quick, easy installation. So we'll go ahead and take our micro-tip flathead screwdriver. We're going to pop this little thin factory takedown pin right out. It's got such a thin wall on it that it's hard to actually get underneath of it. You'll notice right here how thin that wall is on that pin. Now this is where the break point occurs most of the time, and these are the complaints, is that it's shearing off. Look how thin that is. And there's hardly any radiuses down here, so there's nothing really holding that tiny little top of the pin in place. And this is what shears off right here. This pin's also known to just walk right out on you while you're shooting. Now with the MCARBO heavy duty takedown pin, A311 stress-proof carbon steel, it's got a little locking feature right here. As you can see, that'll hold it in place, keep it from walking out on you, and you can see how much thicker the head of that pin is compared to this little factory pot metal pin. Now I get it, you know, mass production manufacturing, and they're trying to be cost competitive with one another. You know, Kel-Tec's got the P38T, Ruger's got these LCPs, so it's just a big race to be as cheap as possible, so they have to cut corners somewhere. Unfortunately, this one could lead to a catastrophic failure when your life depends on it most. If this is a concealed carry pistol, man, you do not want this little flimsy pin in there. I mean, this is just asking for trouble right here. This will shear off eventually. So get the A311 stress-proof carbon steel heavy-duty takedown pin. This is why we created it. And you can see we even put a little taper here on the end to make it real easy. Just drop right in. With the factory one, you got to get it at an angle and then shimmy it in there. Let's go ahead and drop in the MCARBO replacement. But can't stress it enough. For how inexpensive it is, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, you might as well. So that little notch on the pin is going to be facing up just like that. And you'll notice too, there's a little dimple right there. See that? Just above that little notch on the face of it. So that little dimple is what tells you where that notch is on the pin. So you go ahead and you slide with the notch up, slide that smooth part right through that spring there, and you don't need to go in an angle like you do at the factory pin. All right, just want to make sure that barrel, you can see that lug. All right, don't let that barrel slide back on you. So make sure the barrel's all the way forward. You're going to drop it straight in. All right, position it to where that little dimple's up, right in. Good to go. That's it. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and do the same on the LCP-2. Little flathead, pop this thing out. Look at that tiny little razor thin head on that pin right there. So it'll shear right off. Just replace it, guys. I mean, this just doesn't make sense. So there it is. Very thin, very cheap, but I get it. Mass production, you're trying to compete with all the other manufacturers out there. It's just unfortunate. This is, you know, add a little extra thickness there. But here you go, got your replacement right here. Much more heavy duty, designed with the intention of lasting a lifetime, not going to shear off. We've got reinforced radiuses right there on that head of that pin to ensure that head stays on that pin. A311 stress-proof carbon steel. This thing is designed to last a lifetime. We lifetime guarantee this because we know we're never going to have to replace it. You guys are good to go. You're never going to have any issues. This is just a phenomenal part, really well machined. Got a nice little taper here in the end, so it's quick to drop in, just straight in. Don't need to try to shimmy it in there at an angle. Got a nice little lock on top there, so it'll locate on that spring. It won't walk out on you. Got a little dimple right there, so you know where that little lock is. And that notch is your lock. So when that little dimple's down, you know that it's locked in place right there. So that's your indicator, which is very handy. And you can see that lock is that little notch cutout right there on the pin itself. So it's really fantastic, easy to use. We want that little dimple up when we're installing it, and we can just drop it straight in. You can see that little spring there, which is going to lock and locate in that notch on the pin. So we drop it straight in, real simple and easy. Love it. And then you can just turn it with your finger and lock it in place, all right? And we are good to go. Simple as that, all right? So make sure you did it exactly on the same on the other one too. Make sure it's down and locked in place. Simple. Now, it'll still retain itself and stay in, you just won't have that anti-walk feature if it's not locked. So once it's locked and it's down in position, you've got your anti-walk feature in, you're good to go. Same with here on the LCP too, man. This is just fantastic. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but as long as it's down, relatively flush there, you're good. Now it may kind of shimmy left and right like that because that pin is right there. It's a notch, 180. There's a little bit of movement up and down, but it's locked in place. It's not going to come out. All right, so we're good to go. Really fantastic improvement over that tiny little thin hot metal factory pins, man. Just not worth it. Look at that. I mean, what is that really supposed to do? You can almost bite that thing off. Look how thin that is. Well, there you have it, guys. A really simple, straightforward, common sense replacement for your Ruger LCP 1, LCP 2 pistols. These are great concealed carry pistols, but just have a few weaknesses. This would definitely be the Achilles heel of the LCP 1, LCP 2. Really hope you guys enjoy this. Really simple, straightforward upgrade, but it makes a lot of sense. You guys asked for it. You guys complained about it shearing off, about it walking out. Now here's the solution. One and done. Really appreciate your support. Thank you, MCARBO Brotherhood, for all your ideas and your support. Join us over at the forum, guys, if you're not already over there. If you do like this, you want to show us some support, some appreciation on YouTube, we always appreciate a good subscribe or a like or throw a comment in there. We're always looking at those and replying. Thanks, guys, again. And as always, happy shooting.